Let's take a look at the chart for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's what we've been looking at. We have a falling channel bouncing in between these two trend lines right here, this top trend line, this bottom trend line. We broke that top trend line going to the upside. So now what I'm looking at or targeting is this previous resistance, or this top resistance, previous top should I say, over here at 51.7K approximately. The other thing we could do is target from the bottom or the top to the bottom of this triangle. Let's do that, and then we could drag this to the breakout. This is another target. This is a little bit lower. This one is sitting at around 51.5, 51.4K, somewhere around there. In general though, what I'm looking at is we have on the 4-hour time frame, like I talked about yesterday, is we have support right here. Now we came down, got a little bit of support right here again. Now it looks like we're heading back to the upside. In general, we have this uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. Until we break this uptrend going to the downside, then I'm assuming that we're coming up to our targets. The other thing is, we have this target that ends up right here, and if we zoom out a little bit, we can see that we have this 180 moving average that's been on top of us for a while. Let's see, let's zoom out a little bit more. We have this 180 moving average, this orange line that came through right here. When we broke it going to the downside, that's when we started having that pretty much bear market, should you say. And yeah, I think if we could break above this, this might be the signal that we need to get back on track, going up anyways. When we broke above it right here, we got that nice move. Let's see where else. We broke above it right here, nice move. Broke below it right here, bear trend. Broke below it right here, nice bear trend. And pretty much every time we break below it, we get a nice bear trend, and then when we break above it, we start moving to the upside. So this is probably one thing that I'm looking at that makes, that looks pretty good. If we could break above it and it looks like we're coming in to test it, let's go ahead and delete some of these things so you can kind of see it clearly right here. So it looks like we're coming in to test it now. This is sitting at the level it's sitting at right now is sitting at 51.5K. 51,562 approximately. So I think if we could break above this level, which is pretty much close to this previous resistance as well. If we line up this resistance and then do something like this, this is where I'm targeting. I'm kind of curious if we're going to get rejected or if we're going to be able to break through it. Like I said, if we break through it, then that's a good signal. If we get rejected, it means that we're still in this bear trend because of this 180 moving average, or this 180 moving average is still causing us some resistance, in my opinion. Let's jump over to the total crypto market cap, and this is another thing that I'm watching very closely. So we have a big, huge falling channel like this, and it looks like we're coming in to test it right now. We also had this little pattern. It was like almost like a little triangle. It's kind of like a channel pattern going to the downside, and we broke that going to the upside. We actually broke the 9 moving average right here too. Let's go ahead and delete everything. I'll show you that 9 moving average. We have the 9 moving average right here. We broke above it on the daily time frame. I think that's a good signal. We actually broke above it, and now it looks like we're getting that second green candle, maybe a confirmation candle. Let's see if we could keep pushing to the upside. The first levels that I'd be targeting are these previous resistances. If we could break this downtrend right here, and it looks like we're coming in to test it, like I said, once we break above this, then we can get more bullish. Look right here though, we broke above it and we wicked above it, and then we came back down and it gave us resistance. So we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna want to wait and see and make sure we close above this trend line. So let's see, we break above it, and then what we're gonna want to do is get another candle that closes and continues to head up. Like I said, the next level that I'll be kind of looking at is this one up here, this resistance zone. Something like this. If we can break this one, what I'll be looking to do is come up, maybe start trading in this area right here, and then maybe break up to the upside and start trying to get into this area over here. Right now we're sitting at 2.296 trillion. This level right here is sitting at 2.65 trillion, and the top of the bodies anyways is sitting at 2.9 trillion. In general though, it looks like we're really testing this trend line going to the downside, and this is the main trend line that I've been watching since we started trending down. So if we could break this one, I think this is going to be a very good signal. If we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart real quick, you can see we've been talking about this. We kind of have a double bottom going on right here. This is the daily time frame. I think in general, the main thing I'm watching is we have a downtrend right here, and then we have a support line right here. So are we going to break to the upside or to the downside? I think if we break to the upside, this is going to be really good for Bitcoin, and hopefully it could start taking over again. But in general, we have this downtrend. I'm watching this. Let's see if we could break this going to the upside. If we zoom out a little bit, we have support right here, and it looks like we're getting support right here. So this is a nice little support zone in general. Let's see if this can keep holding support and break to the upside. If not, we have these orange lines down here, and this is zooming out even more. Let's go to the weekly time frame for this one. We have these previous supports down here. These were back in 2018. So yeah, these are the previous bottoms of the previous lows, should I say, of the Bitcoin dominance. And I've been looking at these orange lines for a while now. So I think if we break these bottom support lines, these are the orange lines are the next levels that I'd be looking at. But hopefully we could get a bounce right here. Like I said, it does look like a double bottom. Maybe we could break to the upside, and that'll be good for Bitcoin. But until we do, then I'm not sure if it's breaking up or down. Like I said, if we can hold support right here and get a bounce, this is going to be good for Bitcoin. Let's keep an eye on this chart though and wait for a breakout to the upside or the downside. I think once it does break up or down, then we'll get a better signal whether Bitcoin's going to start running pretty hard, or maybe we'll get another altcoin season. Let's jump over to the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. This is another chart that I've been looking at. Let's go ahead and delete some of these lines just so we could get kind of focus on one thing. So I'm just watching this uptrend right now. As long as this chart is moving to the upside and trending up like this, then this is good for Ethereum. If we break this trend line going to the downside, then that will be good for Bitcoin. But check it out. We have resistance right here and resistance right here. It looks like we're trending down in the shorter term like this. So what I'm kind of curious, are we going to keep this uptrend going up like this and break to the upside? Or is this trend line that's pushing us down going to keep pushing us down and we're going to get a breakout to the downside? Like I said, if it breaks down, that's good for Bitcoin. And if it keeps heading up, then this is going to be good for Ethereum. I've been watching this chart and I just thought it was kind of interesting how we're really testing this trend line right now. And we do have this resistance line going down. We're testing it. Let's say if we get a breakout to the downside and some of that Ethereum money starts going into Bitcoin. We haven't done one way or the other, so let's keep an eye on it and see if we break to the upside or to the downside. Like I said, it does look like it's testing that downside though. So let's see what happens. Okay, so moving back to Bitcoin, I like the way that we broke out right here, and this does look good. We're trending up. The main thing I'm watching, like I was talking about, or one of the main things that I'm watching, is this 180 moving average right here, and then this resistance zone right here, this previous top like this. I think when we come into this area, I'm going to be kind of wondering what happens. Are we going to get rejected, or are we going to push through and start getting to higher highs or higher levels, should I say? This level up here is approximately 59.7K. Right now, the next target is sitting around maybe 51.7, 51.8K. We're going to want to keep an eye on that total crypto market cap and see if we could break that big channel. We still have resistance right here and resistance right here. So even if we keep going up, we still have a nice big resistance line, something like this, that might give us some trouble. So we might have to come and test it and then I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see. But this trend line right here on the 4 hour is the one that I'm looking at. This trend line right here on the 4 hour is the one that I'm looking at. And then we also have this 180 moving average on the 4 hour. Let's see what happens when we come into this area right here. All right, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like Bitcoin, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to technical analysis and reading charts and stuff, check out this playlist right here. It's basically an intro on how to get started on following along with my channel and how to read charts on your own. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.